Hey, what's good YouTube? This is Jordan coming at you with my Mermail deck profile from YCS Toronto, which I finished 7-3 at. Made day 2 and then ultimately lost on the bubble again. So I'm going to be getting that elusive top eventually, but I'm just going to quickly go over my build. After the ban list was announced, a lot of people discarded the deck, and me too. Originally I believed that the deck was dead. But finally, I strongly believed, after reconsidering my position, I came to the conclusion that this is definitely one of the best decks of the format, if not the best deck of the format, along with all the Dragon Ruler variants. So yeah, I finished 7-3. A lot of my wins, if not most of them, were all 2-0 wins. The only thing that was quite unfortunate actually was the fact that I wasn't able to win a couple of my games. One I got really unlucky. I got against Dragons. He returned from a different dimension me twice, so it was incredibly unfortunate. Another one was based on some poor main deck and extra deck choices, so I'm not saying this is the ultimate Mermail build. I'd definitely make some changes. As a matter of fact, I believe the Sarush and Bobby builds are perfect. I actually did a lot of Therio with Bobby and with my really good friend Ali. Ali also bubbled and Bobby top 16. So I don't know. I believe that again, had I taken Bobby's advice, especially with the extra deck and cutting Squall. Never should have played Squall. It was a terrible card, and had Squall been. Had Squall not been in my deck, I probably would have topped. I would have finished at least X2 because of that. That Squall needed to be a water monster or a sphere, so it was just superfluous, and it was completely useless all weekend. So that's definitely coming out. And after this weekend, I'm completely switching my build to Bobby's build. And Sarush's build. So, 3 Tidal, 3 Aqua Spirit, 3 Megalo, which was terrible. Definitely 2 Megalos the way to go. You never want to open like 2 Megalos, and it's just never really that good. I mean, now that Dragoon's at 1, there's not really much for you to discard, and plus people are playing Maxis and 3s, so Megalo's kind of just there to search out those spheres. And for kind of like some OTK sometimes, but Abystius is where probably the most important card in the deck, because Abystius and Aqua Spirit pretty much help you make Bahamut Shark with Engineer and Abystrite, so that's just a ridiculous play, and there's not many decks that could get over that. And we all saw how effectively Engineer is as a card, as it helped Sarush can get into the top 4. So Abyss lead, pretty good for me all weekend also. Knocking out that free card was crucial. So yeah, Abyss lead. Triple Linde, such an important card. It's just really unfortunate that I just kept drawing her with Abyss Pike a lot over the weekend, but it's nothing I wasn't able to get over. I find that Mermail is such a good deck, and just recovers from any kind of field that your opponent could throw at you so effectively, more so than pretty much any other deck except Dragon Ruler, this format. And a card like Abyss Land and Abyss Oshia, these are cards that are largely responsible for that. So Abyss Oshia, there's dozens of combos. I'm not really going to get into it, except for the one that I just mentioned before. There's also, if ever you have a terrible hand, Abyss Oshia could also turn into, if you don't have the Aqua Spirit, Abyss Oshia at worst could turn into a Linde plus Zen Mains in defense mode. Also lets you abuse cards like Leviair with, because your Aqua Spirit's entitled, so really, really good. And Triple Gundy, obviously there's no reason not to be playing 3. More often than not, you'll be searching the Gundy as your level 3 off Abyss Pike if you're not searching the Oshia. Although, off Oshia, with Pike, you could do some pretty nasty plays as well, especially with Engineer. All depends on your field. 3 Pike and 1 Turge. What's cool about that play is that if you have either or in the grave, it just lets you, with the sphere at your opponent's end of main phase 2 and then end phase, one card turns into two level 4s on the field before your turn even starts, so that's really good. Plus Turge, without playing Salvage, Turge just lets you recycle your guns and your infantries and your marksmans, and whatever else you really need. So Turge is a really good card, and especially now with Dragoons at 1 and with Megalo having to be played at 2, and I strongly believe that's the right number to play him at. That being said, you don't really need the salvage to, just put extra water monsters in your hand, but you might not be using them as effectively as you really want. So, anyway, that said, 3 marksmen, 2 infantry. I messed up that ratio. I should have definitely be playing 2 marksmen, 3 infantry. Back row wasn't really all that much of an issue, except if you were playing against Infernity, but Bobby's build and Sarush's build addressed that because they played 5 hand traps, whereas I only played 3. So again, some deck building skills on my part, which were lacking, which were below my regular standard, caused me to not top this event, which is very unfortunate. The triple Maxi, triple MST, triple Sphere, and the 1 Abyss Claw. So that's the main deck. I'm just gonna push this all aside for now. I'm just gonna get into the extra. Double Gaios. Never actually made double Gaios. I guess you only really need 1. So that's coming out. Master Blades was good, but like every time Master Blades could have been made, I almost felt as if Dracosac could have been the superior play. Dracosac was just huge, monumentous all weekend. Definitely a great card. But you never really make more than 2. So yeah. The 1 Big Eye, which was used once effectively in time to get me game. So, beautiful card. Double Bahamut. I couldn't get an engineer before the tournament started for some reason, and I was also helping out one of the vendors before the event, so I was really busy and my deck list was ready the night before. That being said, I only ended up registering with about 5 minutes left in registration, so I didn't have any chance. I didn't have a chance to actually edit my deck list and get the cards I was missing, so my build is very rough, and again, had I actually play tested and I put some effort into this YCS, I would have topped, which is unfortunate because I didn't. I got absolutely 0 play testing. I only got the full main deck by the Wednesday, and I didn't actually get any real play testing against some of the top decks at all for the event, because I didn't have the cards, right? So not to mention that although I was doing some theory bouncing with Alex and Louis and Bobby and Ali, it didn't really materialize up until the Saturday morning. The Saturday morning is when Alex basically told me, okay, go register for the event. Friday night I had just basically prepared a deck list in case I chose to play. So anyway, finished 7-3. Not disappointed that I bubbled. I'm disappointed that I didn't approach the event as I should have. Maestroke was really good for me. Bobble Chain, just to make the Gundy plays more live sometimes. Or a title engrave, which is absolutely crucial. Sometimes you put the title engrave and you could go Aqua Spirit, banish the title, and you're able to go for maybe even another rank 4 sometimes if you're lucky, in the title that you banished just adds itself to your hand. Title was also really important this weekend because, and I love to keep it in hand more than, just discarding title gun or title marksman or title infantry, whatever. I found it was more important because, Abyss Dweller is the thing, and title is just a simple, normal, well, not a normal summon, but a special summon from your hand that just gets over Dweller, so I think that's monumental. Levier was really good. Definitely wouldn't cut that. Double Abyss Trite. Oops. Double Abyss Trite. I was playing double Bahamut, double Trite, but obviously with Engineer you only really need one Bahamut and 2 Trites, so yeah. Definitely should have been more careful there. But again, like I said, I have 0 testing in, right? So, yeah. And the one Zen mains for that play that you could do, Zen mains and Lindy turn 1 off Teus and Osha if you have a really terrible hand. But more often than not, Engineer. And I realized as the event went, I realized that Engineer would have been better off. I would have been better off with that than with the Zen mains, more often than not. But Zen mains was still a good card. I brought it out maybe once or twice. 2 effect Veiler sided, which should have been mained. Again, my deck building was off. 2 Snowman for the Blackwing deck that I did not face all weekend. Never came in, so I'm definitely going to be siding much less for Blackwings from here on out. Skill Drain almost went in for 90% of my matchups. Shadow Mirror was good against Infinity. Absolutely destroyed Infinity the one time I played it all weekend. 2 Imperial Iron Wall, which is really helpful against Dragon Roller. So yeah, Imperial Iron Wall was great. Emptiness also came in a lot. Helped me against the Dragon Ruler matchups a lot as well. And 2 Debunk, which almost seems like a really good main deck choice at this point because max season Veilers are being played in large numbers. As are quite a few other, hand traps or cards that activate in hand or grave. So, it's a good card against Dark World, against those Megalos, Bestiuses, the Dragon Rulers that activate in hand or in grave. So, Debunk is a really, really cool card. So, that's my Mermail deck profile. Like I said, there's definitely, some things I would have changed, but for me, my favorite card all weekend was Title, because mid to late game Title is just huge in Mermail. There's a lot of decks that can't handle a card that just keeps coming out every single turn. So Title was great. Alright guys, so this is Jordan, Team Gamekeeper, and that's it.